Opening up with a disclaimer, it's March 17th right here. Yeah, so news has come out that Taylor Frankie Paul was in a domestic incident with Dakota where she was the aggressor. A lot of stuff is still coming out in the meantime, and I wanted to still talk about my thoughts initially. Like I said later on in the video, I made this video back in November. I just edited it. I was about to upload it, and then all of this stuff happened. I will talk about it in a video that I will try to film and upload later this week. So see this kind of as an initial thoughts, and now I will make a post thoughts with all of this other information, because a lot of people are wondering, will Mom Talk survive? You know, will Secret Lives of Mormon Wives survive this Taylor scandal because of some other additional information that's coming out? Will the Bachelorette season and the Bachelor franchise really survive? Should they still play this season? A lot of people are talking about a lot of different things, and yeah, I'll give my opinion on that. But until then, I'll see you. And if you want something a little bit more immediate, go check me out on TikTok. Bye. Please enjoy this video knowing it was filmed both months ago and edited yesterday, and new information has come out. Let's start off with the first thing about the Bachelor franchise. The Bachelor franchise started in 2003, specifically with The Bachelor, and it was a little bit of a social experiment. Now, if you weren't even born in 2003, which is kind of insane for me to think about because you're an adult right now, you can legally drink alcohol. I'm scared. Anyways, spoken like a true 90s baby. The Bachelor franchise was one of the first franchises to kind of really pop off and do really well when it came to this reality series in general, but especially in reality TV. And then other networks saw the success and they tried to make their own dating shows to replicate it, but this time using anywhere from C to Z list actors, singers, celebrities, and whatnot. People oftentimes who had big careers maybe 20 years ago. Yes, I am talking about Flava Flav with his very infamous show at this point, Flavor of Love, and not Bretman Rock, but like I think his name was still Bretman Rock of Love. I don't know who he is, and I'm not looking it up right now, but that guy also. These shows became really popular on places like VH1 in like 2006, and as we know, shout out to the Kardashians and a little bit of TV history. Also, shout out to the recession. Not like shout out, we see you grow, but more like, oh my God, yeah, we have been going through this for such a long time. I'm tired of living through recessions. Anyways, shout out to the 0708 recession, because then people were like, hey, I can't go out and do things, but I will be at home. And a lot of TV networks were like, we can't afford to do scripts and pay actors, so we're going to invest into reality TV. That is also what has led us down this fucking hill. I don't know how, but it is Reagan's fault. I'll figure that out later too. They started to develop their own TV shows, and the difference between the Bachelor franchise and these other TV shows was the fact that these other TV shows had a lot of diversity. Matter of fact, I think one of the TV shows that absolutely dethroned The Bachelor, especially when it came to social experiments, was Are You the One? This is such a good dating show. It's insane. You should watch it. I might go back and rewatch it. It is one of my favorite love dating shows. And this really pushed the envelope because, again, there was a lot of diversity, which you were not seeing in the Bachelor franchise. In the Bachelor franchise, usually what would happen is you would have a black person. Sorry, tokenism is not funny, but it is kind of hilarious, like how blatantly it was done. You would have a black person, or maybe to really spice it up, really get it in the mix, you have 2 or 3. And then you have a racially ambiguous person, and then you'd have probably Latina. Most likely they would just get classified as Mexican, even if they weren't Mexican. That was like kind of how it was from the 2000s through the 2010s, and it only got kind of contested again with other shows like this. And then when they really got knocked off their peg was shout out to Love is Blind. Shout out to season 1, baby. Shout out to season 1, because wow, nothing took the world by storm like season 1 Love is Blind. It did happen in 2020, so that might have had something to do with it. But still. So they have been kind of losing out. And they had tried to dabble in the diversity of it all. Shout out to Rachel Lindsay, God's strongest soldier. Rachel Lindsay, who was the first not white bachelor or bachelorette. And then they had Matt James. His season really fucking sucked. I was about to say they had an openly gay person who was Colton Underwood. Colton Underwood was not openly gay at the time, but he did become a stalker who harassed his ex-girlfriend, and conveniently, the Bachelor franchise forgot about that, and then went on to give him a show that he co-hosted with Caitlin Bristow, who was the person that outed the fact that Tayshia and Zach had gotten broken up. They had ended their engagement. It was weird because allegedly she was asked by Tasha not to talk about it, but told by the producers to talk about it. And that's why she walked off stage. And I will never forgive the people who are like, oh, Tasha's being such a brat. Her engagement just ended. Her friend outed it on national television in real time, even though she asked her not to. And then this went and dated him. You know what? This is why people don't like the Bachelor franchise. Also, people don't like the Bachelor franchise because of the way they always make Christians look so fucking lame. Like, I started watching Colton's season because Colton's season looked really interesting to me at the time. I was single, I was celibate, I was a born again Christian. So I was like, it'll be really interesting to see how he tackles these kind of secular problems in the secular space as a Christian. They set this man up for failure because they put him in a hot tub, I think with Hannah Brown. I think she came back to like talk to him or something, or one of the girls who put her in a hot tub, and it was like so awkward. I remember thinking, this is supposed to be the Bachelor, like he's supposed to be so sought after. This guy looks fucking lame right now. And it's not his fault because he's really uncomfortable. They did that with Mike P and Katie Thurston's season. They did it with Mike James and Serena. And this always sticks out to me because it's like if you put your hard limit at not having sex and you don't want to do that, you don't want to be put into these compromising positions. Of course, people are going to have these major reactions, but it also makes production look like an asshole. Hi, production. How are you guys? Are you guys going to stop being assholes? Yeah, yeah. Is it Krispy Kreme crispy? Anyways, why do I have so much smoke, but I also want to work with them one day? Yeah, they shelved my application. It's somewhere collecting dust. The social experiment has kind of fallen off. They don't have any diversity. And then when they could pick up and they could actually do a really good job, they always opt not to. If you wanted people to believe in you again, you would have called Hannah Goodwin and given her a 4-part special. A 4-part special over the year. You would have had her maybe like the first episode go try on engagement rings, go on. Yeah, you know what? Fuck it. Have her try on some engagement rings. Blue Nile or whomever you work with, Neil Diamond, whatever, whoever you work with, try on engagement rings, get the custom rings, have her go try on a dress. That's fine. Second episode, have her go look at wedding venues, add in some little whatever petty, stupid drama that happens when you're getting married. Third episode, you know, have some that petty drama really explode and kind of go crazy. Are they going to fix it? Are they not going to fix it? What's going on? Were they able to book the venue? Have something happen with the dress. Fourth episode, have it about an hour and a half, maybe even 2 hours, break it up into a two-parter and have her have the most beautiful wedding of all time. Talk about, how they met through the show, whether, I can't remember if her guy was from the Bachelor season. Bachelor in Paradise. Yes. If they met through that, like have them talk about that, have them explain why they waited so long, like do all this stuff. But they didn't do that. So they fumbled the bag again. And it was just like, okay. And Maddie Pruitt exists. Like, damn, y'all are failing. Maddie Pruitt catching strays, but it is what it is. So they really needed to do something to rehab their image and make them look cool. A lot of people were upset that Mike Johnson didn't get the opportunity, not the Speaker of the House. The fans didn't get him. The fans got Matt James. The fans are like, why are you always putting more drama in instead of actual relationships? Why is all this stuff happening? And people just fell out of love. So that is why they need a better season. And that is also exactly why Taylor Frankie Paul makes sense. Now, let's start off with the first thing. Taylor Frankie Paul is that girl of mom talk. Without Taylor Frankie Paul, there is no mom talk. There's no arguing about that, okay? Because if Taylor Frankie Paul didn't air out all of her business and technically some other people's business, we would not have the TV show. Okay. It's a very conflicting thing. I totally understand, but it's the truth of the matter. And that was a thing. Like, Taylor just airs it out. She has no qualm. She's not worried about making people uncomfortable. She said, bitch, I'll do it. And I'll do it again, too. She doesn't mind being honest. She is just really going to be that girl to say it like it is. And that does also extend to accepting when she is in the wrong. I think a lot of people right now kind of want a certain level of honesty from people that isn't going to be given, because a lot of these people want to be influencers after they get out of the house or the situation, whatever. And she already is one. She's already had her like dramatic moments, already had these opportunities to get vetted and to have her past exposed, which is another major thing about Taylor Frankie Paul. They're not having to comb through her background specifically and make sure she didn't say the N word or the R word or put up her hand in any type of salute. That would have all already been aired out by now. I really hope this season that these people are smart enough to go through with a fine tooth comb and check to see, hey, any of y'all dressed up like Yahtzees with the N in front of it? Do y'all like to cosplay like you own people in your spare time? Because if you do, get the fuck out of here. Get out. They can't risk that again because, again, people were super upset, understandably so, about the situation. They're also probably going to vet people to make sure they're here for the right reasons. Jin's season, Jin was the first Asian American to be the main love interest, which is a really big deal. But even then, it's like, hey, he wasn't here for the right reasons. No. Editing photo booth Jordan, it's March 16th, right before her season airs. I filmed this back in November 11/23. Yeah, I don't think she's I don't think she's there for the right reasons. I don't know what to say, fam. I'm not even worried about the dudes at this point. Everyone's gonna be here for the right reasons. Hopefully no one is gonna have any skeletons from the South in their closet, and it's all going to be good. And if not, Taylor Frankie Paul is going to give the energy, get the fuck out. I don't want to be around you. How do I break it to myself that I think I'm already wrong and the season hasn't even aired yet? Taylor Frankie Paul, even though, yes, everyone besides Miranda and Layla voted for that man, ew, they still seem to have some of them. And again, Taylor still seems to have like a healthy respect for other people and doesn't seem to be secretly racist. And I really hope that this video does age well and I don't get any comments. I'm like, hey girl, I hate to come to you as a woman, but you were wrong. It's that type of energy though that they're probably looking for, where it's like a woman is going to stand up for herself. She understands that she is the prize. She understands that she wants to also win the affections of a man, but not at the cost of herself. And I think that that shows a certain level of quote unquote girl power that they want to bring back to the Bachelorette franchise. Because again, Jen being the last Bachelorette and also having all the stuff that happened there, I could understand why a lot of other people would not want to be the Bachelorette. Also, there's rumors that people have said that like you can't pay some of these people to come back on the show. Either it's because the villain edit was like so fucking bad, or when they get back into the real world, fans are so crazy. And I think Taylor Frankie Paul, again, going through what she's been through. Oh, yeah, this is the part about the dumpster fire. We'll get there. But like going through what she's been through with her family and with her friends, her coworkers, she has a thick enough skin to kind of handle going through that. Okay, now let's talk about why I think that she makes sense out of all the Mormon Talk girls, particularly Layla and Miranda. We're going to start off with Layla first. So Layla wasn't as vocal in the first two seasons, and I think part of it, as she has now mentioned, was because she was going through her divorce, and I think also just kind of learning how to navigate being on national TV and knowing that there are going to be certain things aired out or said or done that it's going to be kind of hard to navigate. So Layla wasn't originally a part of Mom Talk. And remember when I said that the Bachelor franchise had tokens? It's not funny, but it kind of is. I think that Layla was kind of a token in this situation because who else were you going to find of color? And y'all know I'm not the biggest fan of the term of color, but like where, who, what, when, and why. And I say that, and I also recognize that like technically, I think Taylor Frankie is Latina. She's like half, and then so is Jen Affleck. But also Layla is half. So we don't even have like I'm not gonna sit here and get into percentages and fractions, but we ain't even got a okay. It is what it is. I think that they definitely did need to add a little spice and vibrancy into the mix, because also the LDS church is absolutely using this for propaganda to get more people to join the church, because a lot of people have been leaving because of the way that people have been outing what happens in the church or around the church or the different churches. um Jeanette McCurdy's book, that's a great example. There's been a lot of people to come out with allegations against people in the church who have harmed them, and the fact that those people are oftentimes protected, even extending down to some of the victims being children. We're not here to talk about that today, but it is important to know that the LDS Church absolutely is aware of this show, and they probably do have some type of hand in it. Maybe not an editing hand, but a hey, could you talk about this? Could you say that? Could you make it look a little bit nicer to be here? So Layla is kind of finding her voice more in season 3. And then I think the conversation that's really hard to have if you are not a person of color, but especially not black, is the fact that when you are in these predominantly white areas, it can be very isolating. And the conversation about assimilation and acceptance and how do you become this version of yourself that you both like but is also accepted by your community is very difficult. I think especially when you hear Layla's background with her father and mother and the fact that she has always been looking for a certain level of stability that has been really hard for her to find, and she's only 23. Layla, if you ever need a hug, I am here. That sounds very difficult. And I think that maybe it would have been too soon for her to take on a show like that, especially with a audience like that. The audience is crazy. Again, that's why I think Taylor Frankie Paul is a great candidate for this. The second one is Miranda. Miranda, if you ask me, would have been the easiest one to pick up, right? Freshly single, young kids. She's really hot and pretty, and we love her politics too. She seems like a really great all around person. Now, I don't know if she's going to get back with Chase. I haven't finished watching season 3 yet. But like maybe that could happen. And so I think the other thing with Miranda is like I think that she's just not messy enough. I don't think Miranda will get down and dirty in the way that they need. The producers need someone to manufacture drama, and I don't think Miranda is that type of person. I don't think Layla is either. Again, that's why I mentioned Layla and stability. I think Layla is the type of person that would prefer to make sure things are good and fine and dandy and talk to you quietly and privately, but they need someone to air out the clip in front of everyone. Because again, they cannot get in trouble for manufacturing any type of ridiculousness, not the show, but ridiculousness. Shout out to MTV. Sorry you guys are gone. They cannot afford to be the people manufacturing at this point because a lot of people they don't want to see manufactured drama for the sake of drama. Like they want to see something more organic, and Taylor can deliver on that. I think that Miranda is very aware of her public image, not to the point where it takes away from the plot line, but to the point where, there's certain things that she probably isn't willing to do or willing to say in front of people. There's probably a limit to her actions. um I think one of the interesting things about Secret Lives of Mormon Wives is the fact that a lot of the women have taken time off. Jen Affleck, now she was pregnant too. And I understand that, baby. Your girl gets it. I haven't really seen too many celebrities like this in reality TV take time off for mental health reasons and be so open about it. Also, while their husband's being a piece of shit right next to them. I'm sorry, Zach was horrible in season 2. Yeah, he was really bad in season 2. And he was bad in season 1. It's like he was like, "Oh, I can't be horrible anymore." And then he passed the baton to Jesse's husband. Whatever. Those men get on my nerves. Those men get on my nerves. I think that there's a lot of safety that she is trying to build in her own life and stability that both Layla and Miranda are trying to build in their lives that they're not willing to share. Now, let's go on to the last part where I said that Taylor Frankie Paul is a dumpster fire and why she being a dumpster fire is different than her being a train wreck, a car wreck, or trailer trash. Let's get out of the way, trailer trash. No one wants to watch trailer trash, okay? The whole concept of it is not great. No one wants to watch a person who is not educated on the situation being exposed and put their feet put to the fire for the sake of TV. A lot of people right now seem to be very cautious